This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. The Department of Homeland Security says it's complying with a judge's ruling halting the Biden administration from ending the Title 42 pandemic border closure. Stephen Dinan reports Judge Robert Summerhays said in his Friday ruling that the president and his team ran afoul of the Administrative Procedure Act in its attempt to lift Title 42. That measure is a section of public health law that let the U.S. keep out most of those crossing the border illegally due to the threat of spreading COVID-19. The termination was to take effect on May 23rd, but this preliminary injunction put that on hold. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich, who led the states in challenging Title 42, said it means the Border Patrol can preserve some level of sanity along the southern U.S. border. Some Democrats also welcomed the ruling, saying they too felt the administration was rushing to reopen the border without a plan for handling the surge of migrants. Congressional lawmakers accusing Google and Facebook of profiteering over their market dominance have proposed legislation to break their monopoly over digital advertising. The Competition and Transparency in Digital Advertising Act has been introduced in the House and Senate, Susan Fricchio reports. Proponents, like Idaho Senator Mike Lee, say it would restore and protect fair competition in digital advertising markets dominated by Google and Facebook. Large companies would have to end their ownership of both supply-side platforms and demand-side platforms that have helped them generate significant revenue. The bill hasn't been scheduled by a committee for consideration in either the House or the Senate. It faces resistance from wary lawmakers, particularly those from California, home to Apple, Google parent company Alphabet, and Facebook parent company Meta. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp is closing out his campaign for a second term by using his incumbency to advance economic agreements and new projects. Seth McLaughlin reports a recent deal signed by the Republican with Hyundai will create a $5 billion electric car and battery manufacturing plant that promises to add thousands of jobs in southeastern Georgia. His opponent, former Senator David Perdue, doesn't have that luxury after losing his Senate race to Democrat Jon Ossoff in 2020. The Trump-endorsed Perdue is trailing Kemp by more than 30 points, 60% to 28%, in a recent Fox News poll. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Also, a reminder that you can find our entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Former Hillary Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook said during the trial of Clinton campaign attorney Michael Sussman that the candidate approved sharing unverified information linking Donald Trump to Russia. Jeff Murdoch reports Mook testified that Clinton agreed to sharing the information with a reporter and that the now debunked story was widely discussed within the campaign. Mook said part of the reason for sharing the information was so a reporter could vet the details and then decide to print it. The involvement of the Clinton campaign is the linchpin of the case against Sussman, who's accused of lying about who his employer was when he went to the FBI in September 2016 with a false story about Trump's communications with Russia's Alfa Bank. And finally, as school districts move to rebalance their selective programs to help Black and Hispanic students, that change often comes at the expense of Asian American students. Alex Sawyer and Stephen Dinan report offers of enrollment to Asian American students at Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology in Fairfax County, Virginia, plummeted 19 points from nearly three-quarters of the incoming class to 54%. The same is true next door in Maryland. Offers of enrollment to Asian American students at Tacoma Park Middle School STEM magnet program slipped from 39% to 31% in 2018 after the county changed its admissions policy. Schools say they're trying to help traditionally disadvantaged demographics and intend no harm to others. Some school systems have carefully structured their policies to be race-neutral by trying other measures to change the composition of their student bodies. A case involving Harvard University and its treatment of Asian American applicants is pending before the Supreme Court. It will determine whether affirmative action policies designed to help one demographic are legal if the result is disproportionately damaging to another demographic. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.